After 2.5 seasons, Lonzo Ball is finally geared to make his debut against the Wolves today, Wednesday, in this preseason game. Let's talk about what we have gone through, what we expect to see from Lonzo, and ultimately what a good preseason game would mean for his career moving forward with the Chicago Bulls. Listen, if you're new to the channel, it's your boy P Kid. This is Chicago Bulls Breeze. If you have not heard Windy City Breeze, we're over there doing big things, man. Listen, do what we've always said to do. Hit to subscribe, hit the bell, leave the review, leave the comments. You know how we move. Listen, I want you all to understand that I am not against Lonzo Ball. I'm not a Lonzo Ball hater. I am not against anything. I want the boy to live his dream. I am not a hater. Please, I love to see it. But at a certain point, you have to do what's best for the player, and at a certain point, you also have to do what's best for the team. These preseason moments and the first couple of games into the season are going to absolutely tell us exactly what we need to see, what we need to know in regards to if this is the best move for the player, and if continuing this project is the best move for the team. Now, I know they're not mutually exclusive, and we have to separate the two because the player in himself, he wants to play. Lonzo wants to play. He's young. He should want to play. He should want to come back and actually prove everyone wrong and prove it to himself. This is someone who couldn't walk at one point. He had to teach himself how to walk in one interview I heard again. That's a big deal, right? Now, I don't know the legitimacy of that or anything like that. Maybe it was exaggerated, but again, that was real. For someone who couldn't even run at one point, for sure, he definitely couldn't run, to now being able to play ball with the best in the world, congratulations, kudos to him. I love to see it, sincerely. And shout out to the Chicago Bulls for not making this something where they put undue pressure on him. He tried to force himself back. It didn't seem as if we were sweating, we were pressuring him to come back at any point. So I'm happy to see it. And I'm happy to see he's back doing what he loves to do. Now, here's the part where the rubber meets the road. Is this the best thing for the team? The nostalgia and understanding what he could have been and stuff like that, I get it. But we wanted Lonzo Ball for three things. One, he was definitely a much improved three-point shooter, and we needed three-point shooting. He was a lockdown defender at the point guard position. At his height, at his stature, with the length, he covered a lot of ground. You could not get around it. And for the very small sample size of games that we had him with Zach LaVine, with DeMar DeRozan, we was rocking. And you can see it. He was impactful on both ends. And we wanted him for his court vision. Lonzo, although he had moments where he definitely is like, oh, this ball is in the air, is a traditional point guard for all intents and purposes. Like, he's a traditional point guard. He's a set you up, get my guys involved first type point guard, and that is a dying breed in the NBA. And so while we had that trifecta, we wanted all three of those things, and I love to see that as well. Here's the unfortunate part, though. It has been 2.5 years, and the best thing for the team was to have a point guard, and they may have found that in Josh Giddy. And so here's where you have to ask yourself, if Lonzo comes back and he has a phenomenal game, and by the way, Lonzo, if you ever see this, I want you to have a phenomenal game. I want you to ball out. I really do. But if Josh Giddy has a wonderful start to the season, or he's just on par to do what he's been doing for last season, the best thing for the team may be to start Josh Giddy. And to keep it that way. Now, I know that this is not a big conversation as of yet. No one knows how impactful Lonzo could be. But to qualm all of that and just to settle it down, that really what it and you shouldn't want to put that pressure on Lonzo. If Lonzo wants that smoke, great, cool. I love it. But that shouldn't be that. And so ultimately, as we roll into this preseason game, I want to see just two things. I want to see him be able to get up and down the floor, running and jumping, and being able to do so without grimacing, and being able to actually see if he can maintain it. Obviously, it's going to have to happen over more than one game. It's going to have to happen over more than one segment. Can't just be for 15 minutes at a time. Realistically, you want to see if he can play starter minutes and get out there and stuff like that. Him just being back on the court is a miracle in itself, and I love to see it. But again, they the two aren't mutually exclusive. What's good for the player isn't always good for the team, and what's good for the team ain't always good for the player. And I'm hoping that in this experiment, the city can accept that no matter how those chips fall. But more importantly, I hope Lonzo Ball can accept it no matter how those chips fall. Because I know the mental anguish he had to go through just to get back in the position. Not something that many people like to talk about. Most people don't care. They just want to see the wins and loss totals. They want to see them if you're gonna have some highlight play, stuff like that. They don't care about the player in themselves. Over here, we care about the players. And so hopefully, however these chips fall, the best thing for all sides works out. I'm excited for Lonzo Ball to show what he can do. I'm excited to see him back on the court. You should be too. But I want to hear your thoughts. Whether it's love, meaning that you love to see Lonzo Ball out there, or you just want to see somebody chase his dream and just be impactful, even if it doesn't end up being what we think, put it in the chat. Maybe it's hate. Maybe you hate the fact that Lonzo Ball is coming back. Maybe you hate the fact that the Chicago Bulls would have put him out there and you're worried about whether it disrupts the Chicago Bulls lineup. Put that out there too. No matter what it is, love or hate, put it in the chat. I'll be in there with you. Till next time. Peace.